Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha.
Hey, cut Munji.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha. So now I'm going to talk about the clavicle bone. That's the collarbone as we call. It's from here and here. So it has two ends, lateral and medial. We know lateral is out of the body towards the side that is out of the body, leading out of the body, and medial is leading into the body, towards us, towards the body. So this is the bone, and we have two surfaces, superior and inferior, and posterior and anterior surfaces are very less compared to superior and inferior. It's like a plate type of thing. It's present horizontally. It's actually a long bone, but it's present horizontally. So these are a few very special features of this bone. So this is also actually the only bone to get its ossification first. So when a baby is being born inside the womb of the mother, when it's slowly developing, this is the place where ossification just begins. That means so basically ossification is the disposition of the calcium salts etc. in the bone and the petrous material present. So this happens first in this bone from this area, which is the center of the lateral 1/3 and the medial 2/3. So let me explain this bone today. And this is the bone as seen here. So this is the shaft of the bone, the center portion. This is the lateral end or the acromial end. This is the sternal end or the medial end. So the lateral end is also called the acromial end because we have the acromion process of the scapula that connects to the clavicle through this area. There's an acromion process, I shall explain that one later. So this is the anterior area, as you can see from this way. So anterior and posterior are two surfaces, behind and front. And this is the shaft, basically the center portion. I'm showing you the superior surface of the bone now. And this is the sternal end. This connects to the sternum and also to the first cartilage, costal cartilage, first costal cartilage. And this is the superior surface. And basically the lateral 1/3 and medial 2/3 is shown here. From here to here is lateral 1/3. Basically it has been separated into three parts. Two parts of which belong to the medial medial 2/3 and one part of which belongs to the lateral 1/3 on the respective sides. Now I shall explain the inferior surface. The inferior surface has two ends as shown here, acromial end and sternal facet. This is the area that articulates with the sternum. This is the impression for the costoclavicular ligament. So basically there's a ligament that connects to the first costal cartilage. Abhigya, can you please show this here? This is the groove for the subclavius muscle. Over here we have two lines that are shown here. It's not exactly like this, but this is the groove for the subclavius muscle. This is the conoid tubercle here. You have a small tubercle-like thing here. This is called the conoid tubercle. So this is the first bone to be ossified in the 5th or 6th week intrauterine life. So when the baby is getting developed in the womb of its mother, you have this bone getting ossified first. It's subcutaneous throughout. So what I mean by subcutaneous is that it touches the skin throughout. It is connected to the skin throughout. So that's why it's called subcutaneous throughout. It's a long bone but differs from a typical long bone. Why? Because it doesn't have a medullary cavity and the ossification is membranous except at the two ends. So the ossification is quite membranous except at the two ends, and it's placed in a horizontal position like this instead of a vertical position like this, like all the bones like humerus, femur, and many more. This is present horizontally and it is pierced by the supraclavicular. Now the next part is, that's why this is not a long bone. This is not considered a typical long bone. It is an atypical long bone. So now the other anatomical feature of this is that it's pierced by the intermediate branch of the supraclavicular nerve. So you have the nerve piercing it at this point, over here, somewhere over here. Now I shall explain the anatomical features. It has a shaft. This is the shaft and two ends. This is the acromial end and this is the sternal end. The medial or sternal end is rounded, a little bit rounded as you can see, and it articulates with the manubrium. So we know that the sternum has three parts, manubrium and and the body of sternum, mesosternum and xiphisternum. Prosternum, mesosternum and xiphisternum. So this articulates with the prosternum obviously and first costal cartilage. This forms the sternoclavicular joint, whereas the other point forms the acromioclavicular joint. So the acromioclavicular joint connects to the scapula, and that's how the shoulder plate and the clavicle get connected. The collarbone and the shoulder plate, as are the layman's terms. The medial part is 2/3 and the lateral part is 1/3. The medial part, 2/3, is quadrilateral. What I mean by quadrilateral is that it has 4 surfaces and laterally projected 4 surfaces. So that's anterior surface from the front, posterior surface from the back, superior, the maximum percentage of the bone is reflecting superiorly, and the inferior part, it is below. This inferior part has a medial rough area, and that is present subclavian groove. I just showed this subclavian groove somewhere here. So that's where it's present. The nutrient foramen is present at the lateral end of the groove. So you have the groove here, the lateral end has a nutrient foramen here, it's somewhere here. So now I should explain the different areas here. So you have these borders, anterior and posterior. There is borders. So when we see surface, we mean it's a plane surface that is only on the superior and inferior area, whereas the anterior and posterior are just borders. So these borders are concave and convex. So the anterior border is concave and the posterior border is convex. So the surfaces, superior and inferior, the inferior side has a conoid tubercle here, just projecting below a conoid tubercle, and the superior surface is just like that, plain and having a little bit of projections, not that much as the inferior part. So this is how it looks. The anatomical site determination is going to be the second topic. So how to identify this bone and how to exactly explain where it is present in the body. So it is in its long axis. So it has a long axis like this on the collar area, the shoulder area, and it is laid horizontally. Lateral and medial. The lateral area is concave and convex, just flat, and the medial area is a little bit like that. The medial 2/3 is it's convex in front. So the medial 2/3 is convex in the front, and the lateral 2/3 is concave in the front. The superior, so the superior area is smooth and the inferior area is a little bit rough. So the posterior surface has the conoid tubercle, little bit projecting towards the posterior surface, and the flat lateral end points determines the side of the bones. So you see the flat lateral end here. It's not like a spoon like the medial 2/3. It's just flat. So the flat area, it points the end of the bone, the lateral side of the bone. So flat area belongs to the lateral side, whereas the curved area belongs to the medial side. So this is basically how it looks in our body. So here you can see the humerus connection to the scapula. And here you can see the scapular connection to the acromion process, which connects to the acromioclavicular joint to the clavicle. And I just forgot to show you the sternum here in connection with this. The sternum connects to the clavicle here. So sternum is present right here. So the clavicle connects to these 3 areas. 2 areas. The scapula, the clavicle, acromion process is a small ulta 7 shaped bone type of process, bony process, and connects to these 2 bones.
But yeah, this person looks very funny as he doesn't have a nose and a mouth.
That's okay, just to determine the anatomical features. So now I should explain clavicular fractures. You might have heard of collarbone fractures of most people who are dealt with accidents and blows. So the collarbone fracture happens most probably at the area where the lateral 1/3 and the medial 2/3 intersect. I've shown you this intersection area. So this is the lateral 1/3 and this is the, Abhigya, can you please show this? This is the medial 2/3. And why does this place get fractured the most? That is center point, not the center point, the connection between the lateral 1/3 and the medial 2/3. So that point over here, show this up there. The point over here in the center, not the center, this area is 2/3, this area is 1/3. So the point that is marked in pink, this is a lateral area extending out of our body. This is a medial area projecting into our body. So this is the area which gets fractured most because it is pierced by nutrient foramen here. We discussed about the nutrient foramen being just behind the groove for subclavius muscle. It's lateral to it. So this area is unprotected by muscles. So muscles do not cover this area much, and it's quite weak area because this is from where many functions happen. And ossification spreads from here. Actually, this is the place from where ossification spreads. This is the place from where ossification spreads to, it spreads to both the scapula and the hand and to the sternum and the rest of the body. That's why it's a very important area, and this area is very weak also because of these factors, and that's why this gets fractured the most. And this is all about the clavicle bone. The clavicle bone is our collarbone. It's a very important bone of the body, and it is connected to various other bones and forms the connection for the acromioclavicular joint, gives support and holds a lot of weight on our shoulders, and it also gives connection to the sternum, forming the sternoclavicular joint or the manubrioclavicular joint. So this is basically the bone. The sternal end is connected like this here, the acromial end is connected like this here. So Jai Shri Krishna, and hope this video was informative. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Lakshmi Narasimha.